Hey guys, welcome to this new video. These Schwalbe Radial tires have been kicking up some dust lately in the mountain biking world, and now I can understand why, because they're really sticky. I mean, they kick up a lot of things, but I'll come to that in a second. There's been a lot of content on the internet about these tires, and I was not sure whether I want to chip in into this trend and try this out. That was until Karl from MTB Trail Shredders, cheers Karl, has talked me into it. He got himself a pair and he was sold on them, and so I also got myself a pair. And this video will be an average rider's perspective and experience share about these tires. This video will be interesting for all of you, but especially for those of you owning a Forbidden bike, because as some of you might know, that the Forbidden has really small clearance on the rear, and I'll come to that in a second as well. Let me outline today's video structure so you know what's up, and you can skip to the chapter that interests you most below. I will be talking about which tires I have chosen and why. Then I will share with you my first riding experiences, my first impressions right from the trail, and then we will take it one more time out on the trail with some modifications, adaptations to see which setup I settle in for the long run and how and why it works. So you're very welcome to join me on this little adventure and experiment on the Schwalbe Radials and see what's up with this hype for people that are not racing or just enjoying themselves on the trail casually. Well, most of you probably know what's up with these radial tires. For those of you who don't, really quick explanation. Schwalbe has introduced a new lineup of tires, so-called radial tires. They are constructed in a different way than our, let's say, normal mountain bike tires like my Pirelli Scorpion here. And they deform more when they hit the trail. So the ground contact patch of the tire is much larger because the tire deforms a little bit more to kind of hug the ground while still remaining quite a stiff carcass, so the marketing material. So you should still not get any rim strikes or snake bites on your tires and still have a bigger contact patch due to this different way of building the tire. The reviews on the internet were mixed. Some people say this Radials is the next level stuff and they give you unparalleled grip and so on, and the only downside should be pedaling efficiency because they hug the ground so much that they make it a little bit harder to pedal them up. And other people say that they mute out some of the trail chatter, which again can be good or bad. For some people, muting out the trail chatter can be very beneficial. For others, it might take away some ride feel. And to be honest, I really don't know on which side of this argument I will find myself in the end. On the tire selection, I went for the Schwalbe Magic Mary Radial Gravity Super Soft up front. It's this purple stripe. If you don't know Schwalbe, they have this colored stripes on the tire. So this is a purple one. It's ultra soft, sticky, because I like a lot of grip on the front due to my, let's say, poor riding skills. I need all the traction that I can get on the front. So I went for the ultra soft, and I went for the Magic Mary because it seems to have a little bit taller and more bold knobs. And we have a lot of loose over hard here, and in the winter time we have a lot of rain and some mud. So I think that this Magic Mary will perform better overall in our conditions for the gravity casing, because people on the internet and the reviews said that the trail casing was too soft and they get a lot of rim strikes with the trail casing. I am not such a heavy hitter, and so I was really back and forth my decision to go with trail or gravity, and in the end I settled for gravity because I just destroyed the rim a while ago, and it was even on my Scorpion, beloved Scorpion, dual wall 2x 120 TPI casing. So I said, no, I don't want to destroy a second rim, so I went for the gravity casing in ultra soft. And for the rear I got myself this Albert gravity as well, of course, because it's on the rear, and I don't run inserts. I don't like inserts, and it's in the soft compound. So it's the orange stripe on top of here. I don't know if this can be seen in the video, but there is an orange stripe. I don't have traction problems on the rear usually, and I also want some pedaling efficiency, because the only downside of these radial tires is supposedly the loss in pedaling efficiency, and I'll come to that as well later in the video. But the main point also for getting the Albert in the back is that just from looking at it, it has a little bit less pronounced knobs than the Magic Mary, and the Druid and the Forbidden frames, they have quite small clearance in the rear, and so I thought that I would have better chance of fitting those in than any other tread profile that there was available. And so I went for the Albert Gravity Soft in the back and the Magic Mary Ultra Soft Gravity in the on the front. And the big problem here is not the width of the tire, which is actually quite narrow. It said it's a 2.5 one, but if you'd have a caliper, I don't have one, but Karl has measured it, it's barely 2.4. But the height is the problem. So you see, we don't have clearance issues on the right and left, we have clearance issues on top of it. So maybe it's because my rim is super wide, I have 35mm rims. Maybe it's the combination, but I mean, it fits, but they're very, very tall. They're not so wide as they're tall. Just keep that in mind if your frame has tight clearances. I made the first climb on the new Radials. The climbing difference was not noticeable. Maybe I'm just feeling good today, or I don't know, I'm pedaling strong, so I have also great variance in my daily performance. But so far the tires have not been holding me up on the uphill, so I don't notice any more, let's say, rolling resistance at the moment. What I notice is that they are moving quite a lot laterally. So with my previous tires, when I would pass over rocks, they would be like very firm, to put it this way, and these tires feel like wobbly. This is my first impression on the climb. And now we will send it down and let's see if I can hold the line or if I'm gonna die. Let's go. All right. I'm on 5 psi more in the front and in the rear in comparison to my previous setup of non-radial tires. But so far the feel is still softer. Oh wow. Yeah, really sticking to the ground. But also they're new, and the old tires was already hardened. Nice. There was a lot of trail chatter on this particular passage, and this tire muted it out impressively. I mean, I thought this is what Buttercups should be for in the RockShox Ultimate model, but I didn't notice any big difference on that one. But on these tires I do really notice it. Well, they grip well. They grip well when I lean them over, although they don't have intermediate knobs, which I enjoy so much. It's very soft on the landing. Super soft. Let's see the grip. Grip level is good. I didn't trust it. Brake too hard. Oof, that's scary with new tires that you don't know. They do absorb a lot of trail chatter, this for sure. Oh, this grip is good. Good grip. Also here. Oh wow. Yeah. They do skid a bit more. It's a bit strange. They skid a bit more, but then they grip more. Let's see. Let's continue the off-road adventure. Now to the infamous tree gap. And while I'm not a fast rider by any means, but this lap or this trail felt so much faster than usually. It was incredible. Yeah, it gives a lot damping. It gives a lot additional damping. It's a strange sensation, to be honest. I feel like I have a little bit of a flat tire. Okay. Oh, good grip, eh? Extraordinary. But I think I will need to change my suspension setup if I continue to ride these tires. I still don't know yet how or where, but feels strange. Very soft. Very soft and yet hard. It's very difficult to describe. Okay, this is our test track. It doesn't have any big hits, but it has fast berm corners and some small jumps, so like this one here. I need to trust the material, and it's gripping, eh? It is gripping. Oh yeah. Mamma mia. Okay, very, very strange feeling. This will be the word of this tour, probably. But it is weird when it's soft at first and you think you are slipping because it's so soft and it's deforming. But once it's deformed, it gives massive grip. Too much grip. Ah. Yeah. Maybe also need to adapt my riding style a bit, because I'm used to the super hard Mazda tire. Oh yeah. Ladies and gents, an interesting run on these tires. Wobbly, soft, but grippy. Need more trails to see what it is. Well, I knew that there is a wall, so that was not so risky. Alright, let's go! Sir Robert! I'm a bit loose. Ooh, yeah. In a sense, it's harder to hold the line, but in another sense, it's easier because it's kind of drifty. When I give the first impulse into the bike, it feels a bit drifty, but then it grips, and it grips pretty good. Now we will come to a little bit more in a second into a bit more rocky terrain. I'm not carrying as much speed anymore because I didn't pedal, but also without the speed I'm curious to see how it performs. Oh, that feels quite good. Oof, almost lost it, but not quite. Maybe I was going too fast, maybe I chose a different line than usually, but this slight softness at the beginning of the compression is giving me yet a hard time to get used to it and to trust it.
Good.
I played the big joker on the stones. Big moment. Somehow I took a different line than usually because the tires felt different. I said, okay, I take another line, but then shit got out of control, but I saved it. It's the interesting thing about it is that in the beginning it's very soft, and I'm used to when I push I get immediate feedback or immediate contra push, and so I know that it's gripping. And here I push into nothing, it's like bloop, and then it grips, and I'm not there yet mentally. And I will increase the low speed compression on the shock, and maybe I should also increase the high speed compression. Wow, the shock is hot. Sunset wheelie. Alright guys, there goes the trail. This trail has cost me the front rim, so I'm on a new wheel just because of this trail. But I'm also on new tires now, so let's see who wins. Woohoo! Feels softer for sure. We got carried outside properly. But here, wheel placement is so key. My goodness. So many loose and sharp rocks. But somehow, this tire encouraged me to choose stupid lines. I don't even know how to explain it, other than that I'm stupid. But maybe I just want to experiment med grip here. I pass this way faster than I should.
Looking at the footage exposed, I think that the reason for me choosing stupid lines is that I was going much faster than regularly on regular tires. These tires do give a massive grip that leads to more speed, that leads to me having to adapt my riding style accordingly. Huh?
These tires are very interesting. Maybe in the rear it's too soft for me even. Maybe I will increase the tire pressure a bit. I don't know if that makes sense, but I will experiment with it in the next ride. But so far the tires have crazy grip, really. On flat corners, the grip is really unbelievable. I mean, fresh tires, fresh compound, fresh chemical grip, but also this radial pattern, crazy grip. But I still don't trust them because they are so squishy in the beginning. So they kind of like, when I try to press the bike, they move a bit, and then they find their own, kind of like their own line, and this makes me choose crazy lines. And on tight trails like this, not each crazy line is a good idea. So maybe I was just going slower overall, although the corners felt faster. I don't know if that makes sense. First ride impressions, guys. I don't know. Let's see. And for those of you riding a Druid, the rear clearance is really bad, and I get a lot of stone chips while the tire is new and really sticky. It will get better over time, I reckon. But if you have a new Druid, full 29er, I don't advise you to get it on the rear. Yeah, so far, impressive tires, strange tires as well. Very new for me, and I need to adjust riding style, suspension setup probably, and tire pressure further.
The Schwalbe Radial Experiment was quite short-lived. This Albert Soft, it has to go. Unfortunately, I cannot keep riding this tire. There's just not enough clearance on the Druid. I mean, yes, the wheel spins, but it's even with the soft compound and not the ultra soft, so it's the soft one, not the ultra soft, it picks up so many stones, it's just so sticky that they all get thrown in here and they chipped away quite a fair bit amount of paint, even though it's PPF'd. And I will remove the wheel and assess the damage in a second. But just riding it was no fun because you hear all the time the clock. It somehow hurts the soul. And also I don't want to crack the seat stay. Warranty, not warranty, it's my only bike, I don't want to have downtime. So out goes the Albert Gravity, unfortunately.
and in comes back another Vittoria Mazza that I wanted to ditch for good, but I still had another one more of the Mazzas flying around in my house, which is half used, and well, what can we do? Let's get to work.
And now let's compare the 2.4 Mazza side by side to the 2.5 Albert Radial, and you see the difference is more in the height and not so much in the width, but still it has to go.
Day 2 on the radial test run, this time on my mixed wheel setup, radial, non-radial, so R and R setup. In the front the radial, in the rear the non-radial Vittoria Mazza. And I'm today here in this incredible Castagneto Carducci trail area, which has a mixture of different trails, which will allow me to really test this setup, whether this can be my final setup and how it feels in comparison to my previous setup, because these are my home trails and I ride them quite frequently, so they will give me a very good comparison across various types of trail. And also this climb here is the most brutal climb that I know so far in this area, and this will also allow me to give you a fair judgment about the rolling resistance and whether this radial tire in the mixed wheel setup is really holding me back while pedaling, or whether it's maybe okay-ish. Let's see. Now let's climb these trails and see what's up. One and a half hours later, I am at the trailhead. You see the signpost behind me. These tires in this combination, so radial front, non-radial rear, with the adapted air pressure, do take, let's say, 5 to 10% more effort to pedal. I'm pretty sure, because I've done this climb so many times now, and I know exactly how it feels to push on these very steep parts. It does add a little bit of drag, but to be honest, I'm on a 15.5 kilo bike, and so I cannot complain about this 5 to 10% added rolling resistance, because from the feeling it gives me at least 20% more grip. This is just my unscientific personal gut feeling estimation. So let's take this 20% more grip on the downhill and see how my home trails feel on this tire setup. Now warm up on this little trail called Conte, small piece of trail. There will be some rock passages now. That's alright. Now to the turn. Woohoo! Still drifty in the beginning, but then it grips. Yeah. No, this is better. I have the support in the rear that I need, and I have a lot of traction in the front. This is better, but I still now have to adjust the riding style. For example, this is kind of trail chatter that I don't mind being filtered out, these little stones here on the trail. But I also understand why people complain that it mutes the trail feel out too much. I get it. But for me, I'm enjoying it more than... Oh, that was sick. I'm enjoying it more than it actually takes off the gorge. Ooh, good. Okay, it's a little bit scary because it's so on rails that I'm scared that at some point it must just stop the grip. And I don't want to find out the limit of this grip, to be very honest. Right, this is just a connector, but this connector is well sketchy.
a lot of loose stuff in canals. This tire gives me a lot of additional damping and confidence to just flow through it. And just having a little bit more support on the rear, I still have the trail feel because I get it from the rear, if that makes sense. Oh, this turn is horrible. And I still can drift it a bit in the rear, which I enjoy a lot to correct my wrong lines. Yeah, okay. The gold digger. That's not fast. Yeah. Oh, off camber, off camber, off camber. Still gripping. Okay, I brake. I use the brake as well, but this one, no problem. Oh, so this one. No, guys, the grip is a good one. Also, this off camber, absolutely no problem. And I still can drift the rear, because with the Albert, it was a bit harder to drift the rear. It was sticking too much for my personal liking. Ooh. Off camber, little support, some more support. Oh, I could just throw it around there between those berms. That's probably the most fun I had on the second or the last part of this trail, thanks to this tire and this purple stripe. Nice. Alright guys, so on today's setup I was pushing it just a little bit harder. By this I don't mean that I was riding faster, but I was leaning the bike a tad bit over more than I would normally and pushing to the berms a little bit more than I would usually. And this tire just grips. I mean, it's new, I know it's new, and I'm really curious to experience for how long it will be like that. I mean, if you get a new Assegai Max grip, it's also a bit in this direction on the first couple of days, you know. Then after a couple of weeks or months, the chemical grip is evaporated and ciao, you have your usual Assegai wooden wipes. But this tire so far really impresses me. Don't get me wrong, I love the Assegai. And having the Mazda on the back gives me the possibility to drift it around a bit, because it's so stiff and hard that it's not ideal for braking. The Albert Gravity Radial was had much better braking performance on the rear. That was quite impressive. But okay, I'm already used to it drifting all around the place and not slowing me down as much. It also forces me to use the front brake more, which isn't a bad thing. In terms of the trail chat I'm using, I'm starting to understand that I'm more on the positive side of it. So I enjoy this tire being like an additional little damper in itself. It's like having a little coil before the suspension, and I really enjoy that. Yes, the feedback of the trail is important, but I'm not racing and I'm not, going so fast that I have to know exactly the crazy line. So for me, as a normal average rider, I think the benefits outweigh the downsides. And now we're going to take it on Stinky Classic. I don't know if you can read the card from way here. And it's my usual after work ride trail. It's a 2 kilometer something red trail. It's tight, it's fast, and it has some little drops, jumps and berms, and a lot of roots and stones. So we will see how the tire grips. Let's go. Alright, Stinky Classic. Yeah, with the muds in the back I can do the Scandi there. You cannot see it on the camera, but now to one. Ooh, that was skidding there. Mamma mia.
The next surprise is here. Also here it drifts a bit. Can just pump into the off-camber compression, no problem.
And I call it this Radials effect. Even though I have just a front radial tire, it gives me so much confidence that I push much harder through the bike than I normally would, and so making also the rear tire grip quite well.
It was quite smooth for that passage. Here's an off-camber high line, wow, into the compression. Whew. Saved it, too much lean. There we had it. Of course, this near washout was also due mainly to my poor body position on the bike, but this is how my biking life looks like. I'm going faster than I usually would, and it's the same as on the day one. I get into some trouble because it's not the same movements I have to perform with the same speed on the same places, but have to adapt to this tire taking me places as well. Now comes some off-camber bullshit part. Challenging passage here, off-camber. Yeah, okay. And into the last bit. Oh, some turns. Yeah, I'm much faster on this tire, so I'm not used to the line. This is the problem, main problem. Okay, love this feature. Lovely jump. Oof. The rear is the rear. It's a Mazda 3 hit. Very slight 3 hit. Oh, this is so slippery. But the front is gripping. Yes, gripping. Plenty grip. And we are in the end of the trail. The tire, the front tire, gives me a lot of grip and good support, but it makes me faster, which is good. It's a good thing. We want to go faster, right? But when I go faster on trails that I do know, I get offline a bit, so I kind of get carried away by the speed, and I'm not nailing the corners and the line properly. So this is a thing to watch out for. So it makes me faster than I usually would be, which is good. It speaks for the tire. So it's time to wrap it up. This is it for my Radials-Experiment first ride impressions. Well, actually it's been 2 rides, and I'm a big fan of the radial tire now. I was not sure in the beginning whether this would be the right choice for me or not, if I'm wasting money and so on, but the story has a happy ending for me. I was forced to go for the mixed wheel setup due to my frame clearance. I could not fit the Albert, as you have seen, and so I ended up with the radial on the front and the non-radial in the rear, and I enjoyed the setup so much after taking it out today on my home trails. I can still drift the rear around, and I have a lot of support and also a lot of feel from the rear tire, and it doesn't punish me on the climb, because most of the weight and most of the pedaling resistance stems, in my opinion, from the rear tire when you're pedaling up steep hills, no? So this is a good setup for me, and it gives me massive traction on the front. The traction is really much higher on the front. I almost couldn't believe it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it doesn't ride by itself. You have seen the footage. I have washed out almost a couple of times today because I was pushing also the limits of this tire, but I can also work on my cornering technique, and I think then I can take the tire and its grip way further than what I am able to do today. One of the things that I was not sure about was the muting of the trail chatter, and to be honest, I think it's a good thing for me. But in this setup that I'm having right now, so alloy wheels, carbon frame, alloy bar, and with these tires, I get the right amount of trail feel and chatter noise reduction. So this is a good thing for me. One of my personal open question is how this setup will perform in the long run. How long will this incredible grip last, and how much of the grip is due to the chemical compound and how much is due to the radial construction? This is something I cannot tell right now, and only time will show. Also, how long will this tire last in general? If you want to find out, now is the right time to subscribe to this channel, because I will be sharing my experiences obviously on this channel. And should you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.